Marcus pointed out that men and women can rarely just be friends when one of them is secretly pining for the other. Nick admitted he'd wanted Angela in college, but had settled for the gay husband role just to stay in her orbit. "See," Marcus said, looking at his wife. "Nothing is ever what it seems in this house." Chapter 6: The Proposal and the Period. The grand finale of the season was the Richard and Keisha wedding. It was a whirlwind of impulsive decisions and expensive rings. While Richard was buying a $57,000 diamond for Keisha, Joseph was contemplating his own future with Leslie. "What we have works," Joseph told Marcus. "Why change it? Marriage is just a ball and chain." "Marriage is just a ball and chain." Unfortunately, Leslie heard him. And unfortunately, it was that time of the month. The argument that followed was a masterclass in what a man should never say. "Leslie, you're just being sensitive," Joseph said, digging a hole so deep he could see the earth's core. "Is it that time of the month? You know you get a little crazy when the moon changes." The silence that followed was louder than a gunshot. "Did you just bring up my cycle?" Leslie whispered. Marcus and Richard backed away slowly. "Man law number 1, Marcus whispered to the reader. "You never speak on it. You just nod and agree until it passes." While Joseph was being incinerated by Leslie's gaze, Richard and Keisha were at the courthouse, getting married in a puff of white smoke, metaphorically speaking. Keisha had ditched her dream of 22 Clydesdales and 5,000 doves for the immediate legal right to Richard's bank account. "I'm a married woman," Keisha squealed, flashing her ring at the salon. "And I'm a woman who's about to be single if Joseph doesn't shut his mouth," Leslie retorted. Epilogue. The thin walls remain. Life returned to its chaotic baseline. The salon expansion was finished, despite the columns and the heavy loads. Miss V was recovering. Jennifer was still eating to-go plates. And Marcus was buying a new car to replace the one Angela had melted. In the bedroom of the Williams mansion, the music started up again. Not Barry White, not Teddy Pendergrass. Just a quiet, rhythmic piece. Downstairs, MJ sat at the table, listening to the ceiling creak. He shook his head and pulled out his phone. "Hey, Miss V," he whispered. "The walls are thin again. Tell the bus driver to hurry up. I think Larry White is back in the building." And in the world of For Better or Worse, that was as close to a happily ever after as anyone was ever going to get. For Better or Worse, The Chaos of Trust. Chapter 1. The Thin Walls of Truth. The sun hadn't even fully cleared the horizon over the Atlanta suburbs before the Williams household was already vibrating with the kind of tension that could set off a seismograph. Marcus Williams sat at the breakfast table, nursing a cup of coffee that was far too weak for the day he was about to have. Across from him, his son, MJ, was digging into a plate of eggs with a smirk that suggested he knew exactly why the house had been so quiet. Or rather, why it had been so loud the night before. "MJ. I didn't want to hear it, Dad," MJ said, his voice dripping with teenage mischief. "But I kinda wanted to hear it. You know? It's a conflict of interest." Marcus sighed, rubbing his temples. "You shouldn't have been listening, son. Go back to your breakfast." "I was trying not to," MJ protested, waving a fork. "But I know, if I hear the Larry White song starting up, y'all are gonna come down here smiling and giggling like school kids." "Who is Larry White, anyway? Some old dude with a voice like a basement floor?" "I love you, baby, baby, baby." Marcus couldn't help but crack a small, weary smile. "It's Barry White, MJ, and keep your voice down. Your mother is still upstairs." The mention of Angela changed the air in the room. Angela Williams was a force of nature. She was beautiful, successful, and had a temper that could melt lead. Lately, that temper had been fueled by a woman named Sabrina Murphy, who claimed Marcus was the father of her child. Angela hadn't just gotten mad. She had conducted a scorched earth campaign that involved Marcus's car, his designer suits, and a very expensive piece of jewelry that was currently a molten puddle of gold. When Angela finally descended the stairs, she wasn't singing Barry White. She was silent, her eyes shielded by the kind of "don't touch me" armor she wore when she was nursing a grudge. "How was your night, Mom?" MJ asked, ever the provocateur. "Fine," she clipped. "Slept late." "That's a good sign," MJ pushed. Does that mean y'all made up? Or are we still in the burning clothes phase of the relationship? Marcus caught Angela's eye. There was a flicker of something there, guilt or just exhaustion. The walls in this house were thin, and the secrets were even thinner. Chapter 2. The expansion and the ghost of college past. At Lady Andy's salon, the air was thick with hairspray and the sound of demolition. Angela was expanding, turning her successful business into an empire. But the construction dust was the least of her problems. Her friends and employees, Jennifer and Leslie, were already deep into the gossip of the day. Jennifer, loud and unapologetically herself, was currently eyeing the lead contractor, Tariq, with a hunger that was borderline illegal. "Honey," Jennifer whispered, leaning over a styling station. "That is the kind of man you make a fool of yourself for. Look at those arms. He can load bare my roof any day." Angela ignored her, focusing on the blueprints. But when Tariq walked over, the atmosphere shifted. Tariq was handsome, professional, and had a look in his eye that suggested he and Angela shared more than just a contract for drywall. "Angela," Tariq said, his voice smooth. "It's been a long time. You really don't remember me?" Angela stiffened. "I remember, you're the contractor. Keep it professional, Tariq." Later, in the break room, Jennifer cornered Angela. "Don't lie to me. You know him. You know him. Know him." "It was 14 years ago, Jennifer," Angela hissed. "College. I was wild. I was young. And it was one night." "It doesn't mean anything." "It means something if MJ looks exactly like him," Jennifer noted, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. Angela felt the world tilt. She looked at Tariq through the glass, the way he stood, the way he laughed. Then she thought of MJ. The circulation issues, the childhood cough, the way they both leaned on their left leg. A cold pit formed in her stomach. Had she been raising another man's son while accusing Marcus of infidelity? The irony was a bitter pill to swallow. Chapter 3. The Sabrina Murphy Stakeout. The guilt of the Tariq revelation pushed Angela into a desperate corner. She needed to know the truth about Marcus once and for all. If she was going to be the villain of this story, she at least needed to know if he was one too. Accompanied by a reluctant Leslie and a very excited Jennifer, who brought Vaseline just in case things got physical, Angela drove to the address she had scoured from a private investigator. Sabrina Murphy's house was a modest, suburban home. When the woman answered the door, Angela didn't come out swinging. She came out seeking. An hour later, Angela sat in her car, sobbing. "He was telling the truth," she wailed, her head hitting the steering wheel. "She doesn't even have a kid. She was a plant. Some friend put her up to it to ruin Marcus. And I burned his car. Patuashia. Tuleki. I melted his medallion." "You did melt the hell out of that gold," Jennifer added helpfully. "I have to make it up to him," Angela whispered. "I have to be the best wife in the world. I have to. I have to cook. Lord help us all." Jennifer sighed. "The man is already suffering. Don't give him food poisoning too." Chapter 4. The Counter Prank. Back at the house, Angela was a changed woman. She was wearing silk, she had cooked a meal that was at least edible, and she was practically vibrating with "I'm sorry" energy. "Marcus, baby," she cooed as he walked through the door. "I'm so sorry. I went to see her. I know the truth. You're a good man, and I'm a crazy woman." Marcus, who had received a letter from Sabrina Murphy earlier that day explaining the visit, decided it was time for a little lesson in trust. He didn't accept the apology. He didn't accept the apology. He didn't accept the apology. Instead, he sat down, looked her in the eye, and let out a heavy sigh. "Many zina, ali nasi, Angela. I'm glad you went. Because I have a confession too." Angela froze her. "What?" "I lied," Marcus said, his face a mask of solemnity. "I did sleep with her, and that is my baby. The DNA results came back today. We need to figure out how to work this out." The new Angela vanished in a puff of smoke. The old Angela exploded like a supernova. Have you lost your damn mind?